A celebratory trip turns tragic. A romantic getaway ends in horror, and nature's fury snuffs out an adventurous spirit. Vacations meant to create cherished memories become nightmares, shattering families forever. From lightning strikes on sun-drenched peaks to toxic gas leaks at luxury resorts, danger lurks in unsuspecting places for the unwary American traveler. In this gripping collection, we unravel the mysterious circumstances surrounding vacations and out-of-the-country trips gone awry. These are the 5 most disturbing deaths of American tourists abroad. The morning of December 6, 2016, dawned bright and beautiful atop Mount Warning near the coastal town of Byron Bay in Australia. 24-year-old American Sam Beatty and his girlfriend Michelle Segala, 23, had spent the night camping on the mountain's summit, eager to take in the breathtaking sunrise views. Little did they know the tranquil scene would be shattered by unthinkable tragedy. Sam and Michelle were just 8 weeks into an epic gap-year adventure around Australia after graduating from the University of Denver and Fordham University, respectively. The couple had been working at Pop Market in Brooklyn before embarking on the trip of a lifetime down under in a camper van. Their social media posts depicted 2 carefree souls in love, exploring Australia's natural wonders and delights. But on that fateful morning, their dream adventure turned into a nightmare. As the first rays of dawn crept over the horizon, a powerful thunderstorm struck the exposed summit of Mount Warning. In a horrifying instant, a massive lightning bolt hit the tree that Beatty and Segala's tent was pitched beneath, sending an electrical current surging through Sam's body where he lay on the ground. 23-year-old Michelle watched in shock as her partner was killed right before her eyes. The searing bolt of energy left her with singed hair and minor head and neck injuries. But Sam had suffered catastrophic trauma. He was gone in a heartbreaking flash. For the next 3 agonizing hours, Segala was forced to remain huddled with Beatty's body, crying out for help that wouldn't come. Finally, 2 teenage hikers ascending the trail heard her desperate cries and went upon the harrowing scene. While one of the boys raced to summon emergency responders, the other valiantly attempted CPR on Beatty for nearly an hour before being forced to admit defeat. When paramedics finally arrived, there was nothing they could do for the young adventurer from Wisconsin, whose life was cut short in the cruelest of ways. A solemn procession carried Beatty's body off the mountain as the love of his life, Segala, was rushed to the hospital for treatment of her injuries and trauma. In a bitter twist of fate, Beatty's father was actually in Australia on a business trip when he received the knock on the door that no parent should ever have to answer. His beloved son was dead under unimaginable circumstances at the age of 24. The tragedy was chalked up to simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. In the aftermath of the incident, Detective Superintendent Wayne Starling addressed the press solemnly, extending heartfelt condolences to a young man's family and loved ones. He recounted the events that unfolded, describing how 2 individuals had been peacefully enjoying the natural beauty of the area when tragedy struck, reminding everyone of Mother Nature's unpredictable power. As the circumstances surrounding the incident are examined, many are left wondering, in an era of instantaneous weather alerts, how could the couple have remained unaware of the deadly storm's approach that morning? Did they misjudge the risks of their exposed camping spot? Or did the chaos of Mother Nature's fury block any possible warning from reaching the oblivious hikers? No matter the reasons, a senseless tragedy stole away the bright future of a loving young couple pursuing their wanderlust dreams. While Segala miraculously survived, her life has been forever changed by the traumatic events of that fateful sunrise on Mount Warning. In the blink of an eye, Sam Beatty's adventurous spirit and thirst to drink deeply from life's wonders was extinguished on an Australian mountaintop by forces beyond anyone's control. Now all that's left are the memories of a life captured on social media. Images of him swimming with dolphins in the Australian tropics, wine-tasting adventures through scenic valleys, and fishing for sharks off the coast. A life of exploration and experiences cut brutally short. It was supposed to be a fun getaway with friends, but for 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson from Charlotte, North Carolina, that fateful trip to Mexico in late October 2022 turned into a nightmare that ended her life far too soon. Robinson and 6 friends had traveled to the resort town of Cabo San Lucas to soak up the sun and enjoy some vacation revelry. However, a desperate call went out for medical assistance less than 24 hours after arriving at their luxury rental villa. Robinson had been found unconscious and unresponsive in the room. When the doctor arrived, Robinson's friends claimed she had consumed too much alcohol and became ill. Despite the physician's recommendation to transport her to the hospital, the group insisted she receive treatment at the villa instead. Tragically, Robinson's condition only worsened after a frightening seizure. Paramedics rushed to the scene, performing CPR and other life-saving measures, but it was too late. Shanquella Robinson was pronounced dead that evening from what was initially ruled as alcohol poisoning. Her family back home immediately sensed something was amiss as details from Robinson's friends continuously changed and conflicted with one another. Some said she was discovered on the floor, while others claimed she was found in bed or a chair. Their stories about seeking medical care also didn't add up. Then the shocking autopsy results came in. Robinson's death wasn't caused by alcohol at all, but rather a broken neck and spinal cord injury. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, an appalling video began circulating online showing one of Robinson's female friends savagely beating the young woman while she was naked in their villa. The horrific footage left Robinson's loved ones disgusted and demanding answers. How could such a violent assault have occurred without her supposed friends intervening or seeking immediate emergency care? Why would they have lied about the circumstances leading to her death? Mexican authorities reopened their investigation and determined that Robinson was the victim of femicide, directly killed by a member of her travel group. They issued an arrest warrant for the direct aggressor and sought to deport that individual to Mexico. However, over 6 months later, no arrests have been made, and the U.S. Department of Justice has announced it will not pursue federal charges, stating there is insufficient evidence to prove a viable criminal case. For Shanquella's grieving mother, Salamandra, and the rest of her heartbroken family, this lack of justice has been another excruciating blow. They feel the system has failed them at every turn, leaving them to pursue accountability on their own relentlessly. Tears streamed down her mother's face as she spoke to the reporters, her voice heavy with emotion. She expressed the devastation her daughter Shanquella had endured, feeling as though her life had been shattered and disregarded. The family's attorney echoed these sentiments, denouncing the responses from both Mexican and U.S. authorities as a profound injustice for Shanquella's family. Although no arrests have materialized, Robinson's loved ones refuse to give up their quest to honor Shanquella's legacy. They have pleaded with the Biden administration and government officials to prioritize this tragic case and provide transparency about the investigation's progress. At a rally commemorating 6 months since her sister's tragic death, Robinson's sister passionately called for action, urging authorities to take proactive measures such as implementing tracers on individuals and holding accountable those responsible by placing them in jail. Her words resonated with the gathered crowd, echoing the frustration and demand for justice in the wake of the loss. So where does the pursuit of justice stand for Shanquella Robinson? Why haven't the friends who were present and the suspected perpetrator captured on video been apprehended? What further action can the U.S. and Mexican governments take to finally provide this heartbroken family with the answers and closure they so desperately crave? Only time will tell if Shanquella's story prompts the justice her loved ones continue fighting for. John Heathcote and Abby Lutz had embarked on a dream vacation to Mexico, eager to bask in the sun and enjoy the luxury of the renowned Rancho Pescadero Hotel. Little did they know that their getaway would take a tragic turn, leaving their families devastated and demanding answers. On June 13, 2023, the young couple from California was found lifeless in their hotel room at the upscale resort in El Pescadero, a tranquil village in Baja California Sur. According to preliminary investigations, Heathcote, 41, and Lutz, 28, had succumbed to the inhalation of toxic gas, and their bodies were discovered approximately 10 to 11 hours after their passing. The news sent shockwaves through their loved ones, who were left grappling with the sudden and mysterious circumstances surrounding their deaths. Abby's family revealed that she had been in contact with them days earlier, complaining of feeling unwell and seeking medical attention for suspected food poisoning. Little did they know that those would be her final communications before the heartbreaking silence. As the investigation unfolded, a chilling account emerged from the first responders on the scene. Fernando Valencia, a paramedic who entered the couple's room, recounted the harrowing experience to the audience of Good Morning America.
It was one of the worst experiences that I felt.
Describing how both he and his partner began to feel dizzy as soon as they went inside the room.
Went out of the room as soon as possible, and I was afraid for my partner. because my first thought in mind, it was like, we're gonna die.
Fearing for their lives, they hastily exited, Valencia's primary concern being the safety of her companion. The incident raised serious concerns about potential gas leaks at Hyatt Hotel's oceanfront property. However, the hotel's management adamantly denied any issues with its infrastructure or facilities, including the presence of gas. However, a disturbing pattern of allegations quickly emerged from current and former employees. They claimed the resort had been aware of faulty gas detectors and alarms for months, but intentionally deactivated them because the loud warnings disturbed guests. Ricardo Carbajal, who previously worked as a night manager before resigning due to a pay dispute, confirmed widespread knowledge about the malfunctioning alarms and detectors. He even added that everyone, specifically those working in the hotel, was aware of the situation with the gas detectors, notably that they were not working correctly. 3 other employees, including a housekeeper who became ill just days before the tragedy from odors in the same room, corroborated the shocking allegations. They recounted overwhelming gas smells and concerns raised to management that were ignored.
Within minutes, it just hit me, this gas smell. Super overwhelming and unpleasant. So I called my server over and I asked to be moved to a different table. So I moved a couple tables over and the smell was still overwhelming even there.
One employee revealed they had detected unbearable smells of gas in room 534, the same suite where Heathcote and Lutz ultimately lost their lives. Another housekeeper said she was told not to worry about a leaking air conditioning unit in that deadly suite, claiming all was fine. While the investigation remains ongoing to determine if negligence played a role, the couple's families are beside themselves over the horrifying way their loved ones perished during what was meant to be a romantic getaway. Tears welled in Lutz's sister's eyes as she delivered a heartfelt message to the public. Expressing shock and profound sadness over the loss of their beloved Abby, she spoke of Abby's adventurous nature and compassionate soul.
Abby was a light to everyone around her. She always had a smile on her face. It is our hope that more information will come to light to explain what happened to Abby and why.
In a plea for support, she requested thoughts and prayers from those whom Abby's life had touched. A probing inquiry into potential safety lapses regarding the hotel's role is likely to be conducted. If the allegations prove true that occupant safety was knowingly compromised, severe legal and ethical consequences could arise. Was this tropical resort more concerned about profit margins than addressing legitimate gas leak dangers? Why weren't preventative measures taken after employees raised repeated red flags about odors and malfunctioning alarms? Could more stringent safety protocols have saved the lives of this young, vibrant couple? The victims' families and the traveling public deserve answers to these disturbing questions. The idyllic waters off Ambergris Cay proved tragically deceptive for 17-year-old Logan Salon Pratt. What was supposed to be a dream tropical vacation quickly descended into unimaginable horror when the Oklahoma teen was struck and killed by a tour boat while swimming with her mother on February 14th. As the grieving Pratt family reels from the devastating loss, a complex legal case is taking shape around the circumstances leading up to Logan's untimely death. Both authorities and citizens of the Belizean island paradise are grappling with difficult questions about safety protocols, maritime rules and regulations, and the urgent need for emergency medical resources for visitors. At the center of the high-profile case is boat captain Jesse Smith, identified as the operator of the vessel that inflicted the fatal injuries on Logan that Valentine's Day. According to an official report, Smith has been taken into custody as investigators build a potential criminal case against him. However, a small group of supporters has alleged that Smith was simply a victim of circumstance. They claim the area where the incident occurred off Mata Chica Resort is a known boat traffic lane, where it is sometimes difficult to see anyone in the water when seas are choppy, as they were during the tragic encounter. Smith's family has also retained legal counsel, hoping the investigation ultimately clears the experienced tour guide of any liability in what they insist was an unavoidable accident. At the same time, they've expressed condolences to the devastated Pratt family over the horrific loss of the energetic teen. But Logan's mother, Tamra, paints a different picture of the fateful day's events based on her harrowing account. She told local reporters that she and her daughter were not recklessly swimming in a marked boat lane, but rather wading in shallow waters just offshore after snorkeling near the pier when disaster struck. Tamra claimed that not only was Smith's boat traveling at a high rate of speed with no one positioned as a lookout on the bow, but the captain failed to render proper aid after the collision. She alleges that Smith was rude, cursing and yelling at them, instead of immediately calling emergency services or attempting to stop Logan's bleeding. Tamra recounted the distressing events, detailing how, despite her efforts to seek help, the boat operator remained unresponsive and failed to provide any medical aid. Alongside another passenger, Tamra took it upon herself to attend to the severely injured teenager until they could reach a local clinic for further assistance. It was at that private medical facility in downtown San Pedro where Tamra said staff proved ill-prepared to treat her daughter's traumatic injuries properly. She tearfully questioned why more tourism dollars aren't being funneled into improving emergency training and resources to handle such crises. She noted that Belize has no Level 1, 2, or even Level 3 trauma centers in the country. Logan tragically succumbed to her injuries, leaving her shattered family to grapple with indescribable grief, along with an annoying search for answers and accountability. As the legal case now shifts to the Office of Belize's Director of Public Prosecutions, law enforcement hopes the coroner's report definitively mapping Logan's injuries and cause of death will help illuminate what transpired that fateful afternoon. The findings indicate the teen suffered hypovolemic shock due to external injuries from multiple sharp propeller-type wounds that caused catastrophic blood loss. While the agonizing details likely bring little solace to the Pratts, they could prove instrumental in determining the viability of charges against Jesse Smith and establishing culpability in the incident. Officials have made no formal accusations of wrongdoing against the tour guide yet. In the meantime, Logan's loved ones continue keeping her bright spirit alive through memorials and a clarion call for improved boater safety measures throughout the islands. Her mother is imploring visitors to take note of the absence of emergency medical facilities, a harsh reality she claims played a role in this preventable tragedy. Joseph Allen should have been celebrating a friend's birthday under the Caribbean sun. Instead, the 55-year-old man from Avenel, New Jersey, was found dead on the floor of his resort hotel room. Allen's lifeless body was discovered on the morning of June 13, 2019, at the Terra Linda Resort in the coastal Dominican city of Sosua, one of his favorite vacation destinations that he frequented multiple times per year. What was supposed to be a fun getaway among friends took a nightmarish turn that had Allen's family reeling and seeking answers. According to his sister Jamie Reed, the group had been relaxing by the pool on June 12th when Allen complained about overheating. Witnesses reported seeing the New Jersey man drenched in sweat as the Caribbean sun bore down. Allen decided to take a cool shower and return to his room to rest for the evening, rather than go out with his friends to continue the birthday celebrations. Jason, Joseph Allen's brother, recounted his last interaction with his sibling before the tragic incident unfolded. Allen had initially planned to go out for the night but ultimately decided against it, opting instead to stay in their room and unwind with a book. Neither knew this seemingly innocuous decision would mark the final moments before tragedy struck. The group grew concerned when Allen failed to meet up with his friends the following day as planned. They contacted the front desk at the Terra Linda Resort to request a wellness check on Allen's room. What they uncovered is every traveler's worst nightmare. Hotel staff entered the room to find Allen's lifeless body on the floor. Based on the scene, it appeared he had been dead for some time. The shocking discovery left Allen's loved ones reeling and demanding answers about what could have happened. Jason Allen addressed reporters, expressing concern about the lack of assistance and information provided by Dominican authorities regarding his brother's death. He emphasized the family's desire for answers and indicated a willingness to seek medical testing by American doctors if necessary. Reed mentioned that her brother was an avid traveler who took great pleasure in visiting the Dominican Republic repeatedly over the years. The family had no reason to believe he was dealing with any health issues that could have contributed to his sudden death, making the tragedy that much more baffling. Allen's mysterious passing marked the 9th reported case of an American tourist dying during or after a stay at the Dominican Republic resort over the previous 13 months. The cluster of deaths has cast a pall of suspicion over the Caribbean nation's tourism safety regulations and sparked concerns from travelers with upcoming reservations. Dominican officials have insisted the fatalities are isolated incidents and that the country remains a safe and welcoming destination for visitors. Over 6 million stopover tourists visited the Dominican Republic in 2018 alone, including 2.2 million Americans fueling the nation's lucrative tourism industry. Still, Alan's family is undeterred in their pursuit of getting concrete answers about what claimed the life of their otherwise healthy loved one in the prime of his life. They anxiously await further investigation results that could shed light on this terrible loss. But even with those findings, scores of questions remain. What was the actual cause of death? Was it an accident, foul play, or something else entirely? Could it have been prevented? And perhaps most haunting, could you or someone you love be the next victim on what was supposed to be a dream vacation?